Hey, my lovely people. Welcome back to A Black Cat's Voice. I'm your host, Kat Davis, Cat with a K, here with some brand new content for your lovely listening ears. So let's just jump right into it, y'all. Today's topic I want to talk about is the end in friendship or friendship breakups. You know, I feel like we've all experienced them on different levels, but man, some of the betrayal, some of the hurt, some of the devastation behind people who have the audacity to call themselves your friend is really crazy when you think about it, Like, everybody speaks on how relationships and when you end a relationship, it's so hard to move on with your life. But I personally have cried for days, weeks, and just really internally been sad over the friendships that I have had to end, you know? And it's like every single time I've had to make the decision to end a friendship with somebody because it's toxic for me, then the person tries to flip it like they never really liked me anyways. When it's like, then why the obscenity? Because I try not to cuss on here. But why you feel me? Are you around me if you don't like me? That don't make no sense to me, And even growing up, right? I always heard people call each other bestie, best friend, all this stuff. I thought it was just a nickname. I never literally looked at anybody that I called best friend as my best friend. But I feel like if you even want to be called that, you need to at least be a good friend to me, because why you want to be called my bestie or my best friend? If you're not even a good friend to me, it don't make no sense. Like, people really, especially when you're a kind person, you're a genuine hearted person, a lot of people will take advantage of that. And that's just how it is. When you're a great person, you really got to look out yourself for here. You got to look out for yourself out here. Excuse me. It's because when you a giver, when you a lover, you gonna meet so many takers who gonna want to take everything from you. And a lot of times that be people disguised as your friends, And if you really pay attention, people always show you how they really feel about you. For me, once I really get the signs of people not liking me, then I just pretty much move on with my life, Because if I can actually, I take that back. If I get the signs of people not liking me, I try to give it a chance. I try to give you a chance to understand where you're coming from, to understand maybe you had a bad day, or even maybe you made a mistake. But within reason, you're not just gonna be treating me crazy and treating me any kind or type of way because you feel like I need a bestie or a best friend. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't need nobody in my life making it worse. Nobody. I don't need no friendship with somebody hating on me, because people don't like to admit that they be obsessed with other people. They be wanting your life, because it's like, how you my friend, or you call yourself my friend, you watch all my stuff, you the first person to click on my story on Instagram, but you don't like nothing unless it's sad, unless it has to do with me being unhappy. If I'm talking about my accomplishments or celebrating something, it's crickets, but if I'm, talking about my health issues or the fact that my dad passed away, then it's, oh my gosh, now, you want to pretend you're my friend. And it's like a lot of people, I actually did an episode on this in my previous seasons called Suffering Over Success. And the fact that a lot of people would rather see you suffer than to see you succeed. And for me, it's like I've always had a challenging and tumultuous life. Like, even now, this is the calmest my life has been. And a lot of the time when you go through a lot of things, you want to have the attachment, or you want to have at least the stability of people. If you don't have the stability of a place to stay or food to eat, it's nice to at least have people in your life you could call and talk to, until I realized these people wasn't my damn friends. Like, these people just like witnessing my suffering. And the reason I know this for a fact is because I was so sick, I really thought I was gonna die. I've had heart surgery twice. Like, I've been through so much in my life And when I was, the saddest person in the world, when I was suffering from depression, when I had low self-esteem, I had so many friends, or I thought I did. I thought I did. When I was in and out the hospital, barely get up, barely make friends, I I thought I had a lot of friends during that time. But I didn't realize them people just wanted to watch me suffer, because the minute I bounce back, the minute what they say, your grandmother's prayers still be working for you, the minute all my prayers got answered, and I'm able to get up to where now I can speak and say messages and perform my poetry and write books and speak on my experiences, because I've been through a lot of horrible, horrible things. These same people that said they had all this love for me, all this care for me, they just want to see me doing good. Hey, I'm doing good now. And where y'all at? Where y'all at? Even it's so like the betrayal of watching, people you love really start to build that anger and that animosity towards you just because you leveled up in life, just because you built a better life for yourself than they feel like you should have had. It's crazy. And for me, it's just so interesting because people don't want to admit that love be fake, but that obsession be so real. Be so real. Because if you don't like me, you don't care about me, why you got me on your social media? Don't follow me then. I don't follow people I don't know or I don't like. I don't even follow not one celebrity on my social media. Not one. Not one. Because for what? Unless I have a certain adoration for you or feel like, it's something that would be beneficial to my life or the people I'm posting for, what am I following celebrities on social media for? When I feel like I wouldn't even like them in real life. It don't make no sense. And people will pretend to like you and really know how they feel about you, and it comes across in some of the most subtle ways, right? Because it's like, perfect example. I remember years ago, I had a friend, or I thought this girl was my friend. Our birthdays are, a couple weeks apart. We was like, oh, we gonna go get tatted together, whoop-de-whoop, She flakes, on the appointment, don't even come, everything, right? I go get my tattoo, my beautiful flower, that says sacred. And she literally goes and, we don't get tatted together. She goes and tells me, oh, I didn't want to get tattoos right now. I'm working on money, whoop-de-whoop, blah, blah, blah. Months pass, like maybe 2 months later, right? Why did she post her tattoo? Not only did she get it in the same spot, she pretty much got, it's a different flower, but you could tell it's the same exact thing as my tattoo. Literally we had tattoos picked out together, and the picture that she showed and she, picked out that she was telling me she was going to get, because I'm the one who set up the appointment. I'm the one who's going to pay for our deposit, the picture that she sent me, it looked completely different from my tattoo. So how do you end up with my tattoo, homegirl? How did that make sense? And then even for me, I'm such a friend that if she would have just been honest and not been weird and told me that, you know what, actually, I like your tattoo, girl, I want to get that, then I wouldn't have been weird about it. But you made it weird, acting like you didn't want to go get tatted, knowing you just want to get what I'm getting, and you think I'm going to feel some way about it. I've literally had girls tell me, they didn't like me or they don't care about me, this, that. And you're literally doing your child's hair just like mine. You're literally mimicking me. I've had people copy my tattoos, my hairstyles, my facial expressions. I've had people literally mimic my whole personality, to where people are running whole businesses and social medias off a forced personality that they're trying to mimic from me, And I don't say this to be arrogant. I say this because I know it for a fact. When it comes to me podcasting or making videos, anybody that knows me knows I've been doing this basically since I could talk. I've been a motivational speaker. I was always, hey, let's talk about this. Hey, God is good. Hey, this, that. I've always been this person. Always. But then people will get around you and hate on you, and they feel like they could do what you do better. And then when they see that they can't, then they want to hate on you for it and act like you not, doing your thing, act like you not being authentic just because they can't do what you do. For me, even for me to have all this wisdom people tell me I have, to be so young, I got this baby face, but this auntie, old grandma wisdom, because I had to go through a lot. I had to go through a lot, and that's why I take it to heart when people claim to be my friends and don't really even like being around me, because I had to go through so much to become this. You think you could two-step and just become this? You think you could go through all I don't think most people could handle my life, because a lot of time I don't even be feeling like I could handle it. So for you to know that I can handle my life, y'all. It's never like that. I can handle anything confidently. I have no doubt I can handle anything life throws at me, because that's what I've been doing. But what I'm saying is that to already get close enough to me to know that I don't have the normal kind of life, and then to add drama to it, to mimic me, to try to intimidate me, to obsess over me, what's the point? What's the point? Like, honestly, the biggest thing that made me realize how evil people are and how people aren't your friends is something I really haven't talked about. Honestly, only certain people know. But actually, a few years ago, I had what people who I thought were my friends say they wanted to take me out for my birthday and put stuff in my drink, to harm me, to hurt me, to where I lost consciousness and I could have died that night. I literally had people, drug me who I thought were my friends. And once I almost lost my life, that's when I realized this is not a game. This is not a game out here. These people will take you out and sit at your funeral and, sit and smile and claim how they was friends with you, knowing they didn't love you like that. Some people are really evil out here, and you got to watch out for people when you're a really kind and caring and loving person, And the beautiful thing about life, even when friendships die and stuff, it's just that nothing dies. There is no death. There's only transformation. So it's just like, even anybody that I ever loved, I ever spent time with, I ever was around, like, I gave you genuine love even if you didn't give me that. So I don't have to regret anything about the friendship. And I know that the only constant in life is change. So if we were meant to stay friends, if we were meant to be in each other's lives, things wouldn't have went like that. I'm not going to sit and force or try to get anybody to be my friend, because people are dangerous out here. People are so dangerous out here. And it's just really sad, because it's even like, I've seen so many cold things in life. Y'all don't even know. Like, I grew up in Compton. I done been in memorials where I done lost so many people. I done been in memorials where I done seen people get up and talk about how much they love that person, sit there and cry and everything, and weeks later get arrested for killing that same person. You feel me? People are cold out here. So the best thing y'all could do is watch who you call your friends. Watch who you call your friends. On top of it, even if you don't know people in real life, y'all be seeing these headlines of girls going on trips and not coming back. Even the babies going to their little, maybe not a baby, but I feel like if you 19 and stuff, I'm sorry, you a baby to me. So, teenagers going to parties and stuff and never making it home. You got your Kanika Jenkins and all these other people, but you was supposed to be around your friends. I thought these people was your friends. People who are really your friends will treat you like your family, and you will never have to question their loyalty or their friendship. You never have to question it, because they give it to you willingly. And the more you got to try to force somebody to give you that, the more you need to see that that's not your friend, baby. That's not your friend. And if you can't find no good friends out here, like for me, it took me a long time to find really good friends and really good people out here. And I'm still looking, and I could get emotional right now because of how hard it's been looking for and trying to find good people in this cold world, And when I realized I had to stop looking for them, I said, let me look for me. Let me look at me. Let me be that friend. let me be that friend to myself. So I'm never gonna be without friends because I'm my best friend. I'm gonna always be my best friend. I'm gonna always make sure I'm okay, and I'm gonna always make sure I feel loved regardless of anybody else. So the best way to have a friend is to be a friend, you know? And just know, for any of those friendships that ended, anybody that hurt you or betrayed you, you know, it's their loss, because they should have never did that to you. You know? They should have never did nothing to you. You don't never lose no friends. You lose people who really didn't have your back like that. Because you got to remember, when it comes to a friendship, when it comes to a friendship breakup, you know, the ending friendship is all based on the fact that that love be fake, but that obsession be so real. Because if you really love people, if you really love people and you really have, you know, that care for somebody, it's really not that hard to be a good friend. People just don't want to. It ain't that hard to call and check on somebody sometime. It ain't that hard to bring somebody a cup of coffee if you ain't town. It ain't that hard to tell somebody happy birthday. People are mean and just proud of being mean and miserable. You know, a lot of people, even a lot of these groups of people, are not really groups of anybody that's helping anybody. These are groups of people terrorizing people. You know, like a lot of these, even certain healing or spiritual, whatever you want to call it, people are, you know, predators preying on people. And I'm not saying that for everybody, but I'm saying that for a lot of people, because you'll think, okay, this is a place I could find good friends, or this is a safe space for somebody to be my friend. But a lot of people don't hold no meaning behind that friend title at all. So the best thing you could do is please, please be careful who you call your friends. It could really be, you know, the difference between your life and your life in another reality. So I'm going to end it here and just say that, you know, even when these friendship breakups happen, know that every ending only makes space for a new beginning. And that's the beautiful thing about life. Every ending creates space for a new beginning. As always, you know, if you would like to check out more of my poetry, you know, if you would like to read my poetry collections, my poetry books, if you would like to see more videos of me, if you would like to follow me on social media, it's all under A Black Cat's Voice. That's cat with a K. You know, check out my website to see all the links. And please be good to yourself, you know? If you can't find them friends that you want, be that friend that you want. And thank you so much for listening. Take care.